Welcome to the channel. This is the first video in the series on learning how to solder and doing a solder project. And well, let's just get right to it. The first thing you're going to need is a soldering iron. I really love this one. It is beat up. It is used. My wife got it for me very inexpensively many years ago. What I do love about it is it heats up very quickly, and you have temperature control if that shows up in the video. I really hope it does. I highly recommend these. Xtronic is what they are. They're not the cheapest option out there, but they're very good. And another important point on these is, well, making sure that the sponge is wet. There we go. This creates a thermal shock that gets the oxidation off of the tip and creates a very clean tip, and that's very important when you're soldering. Another point is your soldering iron may come with lots of tips. Go with the one shaped like this, like a little wedge. I've got this one here. It is a better example. You might have a really pointy one that doesn't work so well for what we're going to be doing. Each tip has its unique application. This one is right about 2.5 millimeters across, but that will work very well for you. And like I said, these are amazing irons. This one is about 10 years old now, and you can see it's been used, but it still keeps on doing a great job. So if you get out your project board, it'll look similar to this, and you might say, yeah, but mine doesn't have the components, and that's not because we're on take 87 trying to get this right. And by we, I mean me. I'm not so good at this, the filming part at least. So with your iron right around 630 to 650 degrees. Oh, you know what? Here we go. We'll do it this way first. Once you get your iron heated up, what you're going to do is you're going to take your solder and tin the tip a little bit. You're going to put a heat bridge on there. So pretend that's solder, pretend that's a hot iron, and don't touch it here. Touch it by the nice cool handle. So you're going to take your solder and you're just going to touch it to the tip until you get a little itty bitty ball of solder on there. That looks like that, or something like that. That's the heat bridge that'll really help the whole thing. See, I can't do CGI, but you know, I can 3D print things. So when you go to solder your component, you're going to be on the back side of it, like this, in that spot right there. So, you know, magnified view. So you go in like that, you put your iron down there with that little ball touching everything. And then you come in with your solder and you touch it on the other side. And it'll fill up and you just kind of feed it on in. And you'll see this when we're soldering, or when you're doing the soldering, you'll see it happen. So when you get done, you'll have my hastily formed solder here that I can't hold on to. When you get done, you'll have that. You know, have your iron there still, so you fed it in and it's nice and thick. You pull the solder away and then you pull the iron away, and you'll have a nice little fillet there. Get it all the way down. And you'll see there, hopefully this focuses in on it, that's nice and concave. Just kind of curls its way up the lead of the component. That's what you want. And you want the solder to go all the way around it and fill every last bit of the pad. That's the goal. We can allow, you know, less than stellar, because this is just hobby stuff. So with that in mind, we'll get out the board here, and you'll see that it's broken up into various sections. We have our practice area, or project 1, that we'll do later, of course. Project 2 and project 3. Imagine that. I'm so inventive with my naming. We're going to start off in the practice area. Now, you'll grab your solder. This is the solder I like. I've been using it for years. And you want to get the 20 thousandths or 0.5 millimeters. That's important for this level of soldering. That's the size you want. And it should have on here the what the makeup of the solder is. This one does not. Oh, yeah, it does right there, right in front of me. 63% tin and 37% lead. And all the other stuff. I really like this stuff. And then I usually break off a chunk and stick it in a little container like this, so I'm not holding directly onto the solder, because it is lead at the end of the day. So once you get your solder out, You get your iron, and you just cleaning off the iron. There we go. Just kind of rub it on there, and if you got a lot of gunk on there, if you have the Brillo pad, that really helps. And my dog is barking at something. Hopefully that'll be fine. So you come in with the iron, and we get our little heat bridge on there, right on the tip. There's that little ball of solder. And then we just start feeding it in. You'll see the solder melt and be a liquid, and then when you pull your iron away, you'll see it turn to a solid. I don't think that's going to show up on camera, but this really gives you a feel of how the solder moves and melts and everything else. And you can fill it up quite a bit if you want, or just put a little on if you want. This is just to get you used to the feel of the solder. You can see all the smoke there. It's good to have a fan going. I don't while I'm filming the videos, because that overpowers any other audio that I have going. And then before you put your tip away, you'll just cover the tip with some solder, and that keeps any of the oxidation from happening to the tip itself. It'll oxidize the solder, but not the tip. And after that, get a little lint-free rag and get some rubbing alcohol on it. Get the high percentage alcohol if you can. And I really wish this camera would stay focused. Right there. Stay focused right there. There we go. And just clean up. There's going to be a bunch of yellowish brown gunk on there. And you can just clean that off. That's the flux. The inside of solder is a little tube, and inside is the flux, and then the outside is the actual solder. And so we're just removing that flux. It's not bad or anything, but it does attract other stuff to it, and that can lead to problems down the road, and it just looks better. And you can use the toothpick to come in and clean it up, get those edges really nice and pretty. And then in your kit, you should have a acid brush. And I don't have mine handy, so I have to grab a new one here. You'll have a brush like this. You can dip that in the alcohol right away and get to cleaning. Or what I like to do is take the flush cutters and you hold the bristles and then cut the bristles back here. If you don't, you end up with a really weird angle with all different size bristles everywhere. It really becomes a problem. There we go. And a couple more cuts. Yeah, probably don't do that directly over your project. Oh, hey, it serves as a nice little cleanup scraper too. See, multi-purpose project. There you go. Now you got a short brush. Some of the bristles are different lengths, but if you can get it straight, that's great. If it's like this, it's not a problem. And you can appropriate one of these from someone with makeup. I don't know what it's used for, but I use it now for this. I put rubbing alcohol in there, dip the brush in, get it wet with the alcohol, and just give it a good brushing, and that'll get all the flux cleared up. And our lint-free rag again. And scrape some more of this stuff off. Look at that. That is awesome. I'm just going to sell these as scrapers. You can clean off your windshield in the wintertime. So that's it for the very beginning of soldering. If you've got little shapes like that on there, hopefully it looks good for you and you had fun doing that. And we'll move on to this project that I certainly haven't done yet because we're not on take 87. So have fun, enjoy, and we'll see you in the next video.